After childbirth, the pregnancy cocoon, that is the protectiveness of pregnancy for the baby, comes to an end. What this means is that the baby is going to be exposed to more infectious causing agents such as the bacteria, the viruses, the yeast, fungus, and more from the environment, from the contact with other people and other objects, and with a developing immune system, they are bound to get sick more often. It is therefore your responsibility as a parent or as a mom or as a dad to nurture and culture healthy habits to help and promote the immune system of the baby to avoid infections. My names are Lilian Omina. I am a clinical nutritionist, and I am going to take us through some of the things that you can do on a day-to-day routine to help you boost your baby's and toddler's defense system, that is immune system, so that you prevent the occurrence of diseases, infections, and reduce hospital visits and dependency on drugs and medication. Stick around until the end, because I'll be throwing in diet tips here and there to ensure that the immune system of the baby is well taken care of. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing, to ensure that you exclusively feed your baby for the first 6 months after leaving the hospital. Benefits of breastfeeding have been documented in 1,000,001 studies. Breast milk has antibodies that empower or strengthen the baby's defense system, that is the immune system, and this helps the baby fight off new infections from the environment. The environment has a lot of infectious causing agents from the air, the water that the baby is exposed to by just being outside of your stomach. When you start breastfeeding the baby immediately after birth, you're going to provide them with antibodies that help in fighting off infections. And also, the breast milk is a complete and nutritious milk. It is going to provide the baby with the adequate amount of nutrients, vitamins, and minerals to help in strengthening the immune system, and this puts the baby at a better position in fighting off infections. The other thing, breast milk reduces contact with infectious causing agents. How? When you're breastfeeding the baby, the only object or the only thing that you'll need is your breast. When you're giving the baby other meals, you're going to be using utensils, spoons, you're going to be using formula bottles. Infectious causing agents can get into them, and you transfer the infections from the utensils or from someone else through the utensils to the baby. It is therefore important to ensure that you promote exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. I put a video on tips to ensure that you have adequate supply of milk for the first 6 months of life. Have a look, let's engage there. The second thing that you need to do is stop giving your toddlers or children sugars. In Kenya, we have developed the tamu culture, whereby we reward our babies with sweet things, juices or biscuits or candies when they do something good. When they cry, when they're angry, when they fall. We also give our babies the sweets and the sugary foods and drinks when they are not feeling well. But remember, we are developing a culture and habits, and this is a bad one for that matter. And apart from that, sugar is very toxic. There's a lot of inflammation that comes in with overconsumption of sugars. Fructose is very bad for your health. It has been linked to a lot of diseases, metabolic conditions in children and teenagers, such as the cancers, high blood pressure. These are conditions that used to attack people later on in life. But currently we are having children and babies having obesity, problems like diabetes, hypertension, cardiac arrest, and cardiac failure because of bad dietary habits combined with the poor environment and the exposure to toxins. You as the parent, you have the power in your hands to control what goes into your baby's mouth. So try as much as you can to avoid giving the babies candies, biscuits, juices, sweetened milk, flavored yogurt, sodas. Apart from that, sugar causes dental cavities, stomach problems because it feeds the bad bacteria, promoting growth, and this outweighs the numbers of the good bacteria, and this means that the babies can get infections like diarrhea, vomiting, and such because of having a dysfunctional gut. It also feeds malignant cells and tissues and promotes their growth. There will be occurrence of cancers in children and teenagers. The next thing that you need to start doing is give your babies fermented foods and drinks. It is very easy to incorporate fermented foods into your day-to-day routine, but unfortunately we are not doing it enough. You can ferment anything from fruits, vegetables, grains, porridge. The dairies is what we usually use a lot because it is easy, it is commercialized, and it is in the supermarkets. We also go ahead and pick the sweetened yogurts and the sweetened malas. This means the beauty of fermentation. You're adding the good bacteria, then you're giving sugars, and this sugar will feed both the good and the bad. The numbers will increase for both, and you're also going to add on the dangers of sugars when you're giving them sweetened yogurts. If you have to do flavored yogurt, you can always blend or puree fruits like maybe strawberry, pineapple, then you mix to natural yogurt. If you add strawberries, you're going to add vitamin C to that yogurt. You're going to add beta carotene, you're going to add vitamin A, fiber, and you're also going to add phytonutrients. So you see, the baby's immune system will be very well taken care of. If you snack our babies with milk and uji, you can always ferment your porridges, not the sour porridge. Adding lemon to uji does not make it fermented. So you can always ferment, and if you want the lemon taste, you can always add it. I'm still working on the fermentation video. It will be up soon. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe so that you get notified when it goes up. The next thing that you need to do is encourage play. Being physically active has been linked to a lot of health benefits and good performance of the immune system in children and teenagers in very recent studies. I'm sure you are now thinking, now we encourage play with other children, they'll get infections and diseases from the other children. Yes, that can happen too, but they are in their crucial developmental stages. You'll be encouraging and promoting cognitive development, social skills, and they can be lively babies. We're not going to raise zombies. It is very easy for a mom to just wake up, get the baby to sit down, and then put them on the screen. It is captivating for the baby to watch that cartoon or watch that cocomelon the whole day while you do something else. But again, have you thought about what it is going to do to them? Most babies cannot talk before 2 years. Their only form of communication is usually non-verbal. What they are seeing, your facial expressions as you talk to the babies, your hand movements and all this. Let's say now the baby is 6 months, then you start them on TV and screens. You will affect their social and emotional development negatively. You will also affect their cognitive and their touch with their environment. So let's limit screen time as much as we can and encourage play. The next thing that you need to do is include a variety of meals in their diet. In Kenya, most babies' diet usually composed of malenge, potatoes, spinach, carrots, uji, and milk. Now you as a human, all you feed is that. Will you be happy? That's the first thing. Probably no. You'll be bored, you'll be very angry, you'll not be looking forward to meal times. Another thing, you're also not providing the baby with variety. All the different varieties of foods that we have in the different food groups. We don't have potatoes as the only carbohydrates. There's the rice, the chapatis, ugali, ngwashe, there's the ndoma. All those grains and cereals, they form part of the carbohydrates. They also have other nutrients that are also not in one particular food. When you give your baby limiting types of foods, you're denying them the beauty of having the variety of nutrients. Do not do that to the babies. Make sure that their meals are well varied. There are different types of food groups that are necessary for the development and the growth of a baby to ensure that their immune system is well developed. Ensure that your baby gets the dairy, the cereals, the legumes, the meats and the fish and the poultry, all this. Make sure that when you're meal planning, you also ensure that you take care of your baby's protein needs. Give them variety from plants to animals. Another thing, when you're introducing meals to a baby, let's say your baby is like 6 months, when you're introducing protein, you do it cautiously. You do one protein at a time to check on allergies, intolerance, and how their poop looks, tummy situation. Are they bloated? Do they have too much gas? Are they going to get constipated? Are they going to cry due to tummy issues? At the end of the day, we want the baby to have intake of all the food groups, but you also want to make sure that their bodies can tolerate that. The next thing that you need to do to improve your baby's immune system is to ensure that they get vaccinated. Vaccination in Kenya is free in government hospitals. Make sure that you attend all your clinics. The government's mother book has all the data on vaccination clearly laid out. So when you're given that book, when you start going to clinic, when you're pregnant, please go through it. Make sure that the baby attends and is given all the necessary vaccination, because they are important in preventing the occurrence of very preventable communicable diseases. Also, supplementation. Make sure that your baby is well supplemented. Vitamin A, multivitamin if they are not having good appetite. The fish oils and such, they boost the immune system. So when you deny the baby the vaccination and the supplementation, you will affect their immune system negatively. There is no excuse here that you don't have money. No. All the dispensaries, all the public facilities in the country, they offer all types of vaccination from birth all through to the second year of life. So vaccination, deworming, they're also very important. The other thing that you need to do is making sure that the baby gets enough sun exposure. Africa being the hottest continent in the world, like, we have sun all through. We have a lot of conditions and diseases that are caused due to vitamin D deficiency. The sun, every single day, if you have a baby, you need to make sure that that baby is exposed to the sun. The next thing that you can do to improve your baby's immune system is including or consulting a dietitian or a nutritionist in their meal planning. Unfortunately, feeding the baby is not as easy as ABCD, but it can be as easy as 1, 2, 3. Make sure that you get a professional dietitian to work with you to ensure that your baby's nutrient needs and nutrient demands are met at all the different developmental stages. When you're breastfeeding, they will make sure that your dietary needs and your nutrient needs are well taken care of so that you can produce enough milk and quality milk for the baby. When you start complementary feeds, they will make sure you're given a variety of meals, variety of consistencies, and when you wean them off the breast milk, you still ensure that they get adequate supply of nutrients from the other foods. That was it from me. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe so that you can support me. Let's grow the channel. Make sure that you check the next video on postpartum changes, and let's meet there.